Starting off, I didn't really know where I should start or how I should go about creating a vehicle. And I was wondering if it would be basically based off of a drawing, and I would pretty much just put it in Blender as I see fit. However, a couple tutorials suggested using a background image and actually just scaling blocks and triangles to a side outline of the vehicle. And after you get the outline of the vehicle, you can copy that side, make another one, and connect the body within. And then subsurf and add the details. So what I did was I went online and I sourced this picture of an old DTM Mercedes. And I basically just went about this with planes and slowly scale this down, fill in the car body with these planes, and try to fill it in as correctly as possible. And like I said, I would just extrude and continue to do so until most of the body was pretty much filled in. And now, coming back, in wireframe mode, we'll change that to solid. You can see I've pretty much traced over the car. And like I said before, what we can do is basically take that plane, duplicate it, and add another one right next to it, and then connect the dots in between. Go to Edit, Duplicate, and we will specify that along the x-axis, or Z, I'm sorry. And then we will go to top view, and you can see here that if I connect each of the planes together, we'll get a full object. Now I'm not going to do that now, as it would take quite some time. However, basically what we would do is join each mesh and then subsurf the edges and then go back in and add the details, add your material and UV mapping. Now just note that this is a fairly rough sketch. It's nothing of the sort that I went through when I first did my model. I had to go over it many times. It took quite some time to get exactly how I wanted it, but I think the result was pretty good, and this shows more or less how I got to that result. Now, as you can see, the final model has shading and coloring and UV mapping done to it. Real quickly, I'll show you some of the UV mapping. We'll go over here into our UV editor, and you can see over here that I have a banner. I made this in Photoshop, and if we go into the textured mode, the banner shows up. So I UV mapped it to the window as well as the Viamen, based off of the original car. I didn't go too crazy with decals on the originals. There's quite a few. I wanted to keep it, fairly clean. Anyhow, I rendered the model and have quite a nice rendering to show you. And this is the finished model right here. And just a 360 pan by the camera. I just set the camera to follow the curve of the NURBS curve, kind of like we did with the animation. And well, you can see this dotted line right here. It's parented to the edge of the curve, so as it follows the edge. But that was a simple way to do a 360 camera pan. Anyhow, I figured I would give credit to the final model. It is hollow inside. I didn't do a interior. It's not really needed. However, in the future, it might be fun to get more detailed.